Since we have found a way to capture images, we have worked our way through various innovations and approaches to make even more amazing pictures and videos. As one step of this evolution, we came up with a remote camera known as a trail camera. It is one of those that are usually placed in areas where people generally can't be or stay too long. However, being unable to reach certain spaces doesn't make us any less curious about them. As we have started using trail cameras and checking what these have to show us after, there has been a significant growth in funny, interesting, unexplainable, and scary photos and videos that trail cameras provided us with. Today, we take a look at some of these videos that trail cameras have captured that no one was supposed to see. Number 1. Mountain biking almost turned into a tragedy. Some of the creative ways to use a trail camera include placing it so that it can capture some amazing skills or talents. The next video will show us that falling and getting hurt isn't the only dangerous outcome such activity could cause. In 2021, a 15-year-old boy was trying to capture amazing and exciting videos of him riding a bike through the woods. As he placed the camera, he should have thought about all the lessons that we may have stumbled upon regarding what to do when a bear attacks us. As we will soon see, this could have been quite useful to him. The video suggests that the boy had driven this route quite a few times before this dangerous event occurred. The video first shows us that the boy is walking around and driving up and down this hill. We recognize how skillful his descent is as he strolls down it fearlessly. However, fear is what he will soon feel quite intensely. As we see him disturbed, getting away from the camera and looking back at something, the chills start to move down our spine as the thing he is looking at appears on camera. It is a giant black bear with a clear intention of attacking. Mustering up all the courage his little heart could take, the boy skips on the idea of playing dead and goes for being the bigger and louder creature. He grabs onto his bike, lifts it up to make himself look bigger, and starts yelling at the bear in hopes of chasing it away. Right before he has done so, the boy even tries to call for help in this desperate situation. As he kept at it and even slammed his bike on the ground, the boy must have appeared as a mountain of rage to the bear, since he decided to give up on what he previously must have considered to be easy prey. As he runs away, almost as if he has a grudge, the bear kicks down the camera the boy has set up. In the end, we could say that the 15-year-old indeed caught some amazing things he managed to pull off on this occasion. Number 2. Bear chases a group of horses. As we have seen, trail cameras are known to catch bears attempting to prey on the young and weak. In this previous video, we have seen that the youth's bravery has prevailed over this predator. The next video, however, shows us that sometimes running away may be the best option. These 2 trail cameras were placed and have caught an interesting chase. To understand its timeline, one must first go through the whole thing, as the first scene we see is just a group of beautiful wild horses running from something. In their mad galloping, we can see they have almost left behind a young and developing horse. As they run through the scenery, the camera keeps capturing. We then notice that a giant bear is giving everything he's got to this chase. The big predator must be quite hungry, and the young horse may be the perfect target in this situation. Luckily for the horses, even though there isn't much they can do to face the bear head-on, they can certainly remove themselves from the situation quickly. Number 3. A scary creature in a graveyard. Although the previous videos can get us to feel quite a rush, they are quite natural occurrences that we can clearly understand. Moving on, we will see that there are some things that trail camera has caught that we can't understand as easily or logically. In this next video, a trail camera caught exactly one of those events that we cannot explain. Looking at this setting, we can see that it is an eerie graveyard with not much light to it. Even under these circumstances and with limited visibility, we can quickly realize from the unnatural movement in the background that something wrong is occurring. Even though at first this thing may seem like an animal, as we pay closer attention to it, we realize that it isn't an animal at all. Instead, it appears to be a creepy creature with quite long hands. Making this discovery even more terrifying for us, the creature seems to be digging up a grave and doing it with quite a ferocious movement. Although its supposed head is covered with quite long and dark hair, we can make out the scary figure that this camera has caught from its silhouette and motion. Number 4. A baby elephant almost drowned. Even though trail cameras often find themselves being placed in the wilderness, there are other uses besides this. In some cases, these are relied on to catch animal behavior even within more domestic surroundings like a zoo. One such trail camera was filming these elephants and captured what was almost a tragedy. As we may know, elephants are quite an emotional group of animals. They take care of their young ones quite empathetically, and the whole herd is usually invested in setting up the youth for the future. In 2017, this clumsy baby elephant fell into a pool of water. Even though we may question why this would be scary, we should recognize that when young enough and tiny enough, such a fall can certainly provide a frightening experience. Since the older elephants seem to be aware of this, their reaction matches the seriousness of the situation. As we see this scene progress, they all get frightened and run to help. Luckily, this baby elephant was just grown enough to be able to push himself out of the water and hold his trunk above him so as to be able to breathe. An even greater danger could have come from the older elephants getting triggered by this and trampling everything in front of them. As we can see, the elephants show almost human-like behavior. The two of them get in the water and escort the young one out of the scary situation. Even as this is happening, in the background, we see another elephant who seems to be quite disturbed by what happened. Number 5. Farm animals fight to protect each other. While we have seen in the previous example that elephants can act human-like and care for each other, this type of mutual understanding and love isn't reserved only for this species. Instead, other types of animals are also known to be ready to pull all the stops when their fellow animals are in danger. This trail camera, set up to protect the little farm with mixed animals, has caught a scary moment as a hawk descends upon one of its residents. As we see in the first few seconds, the chicken is enjoying its life in the open. Walking carelessly right down the middle of the farm turned out to be a mistake. The hawk descends, taking this opportunity as an invitation to provide himself with a meal. Luckily, farm members seem to have formed a close bond and represent a firm, tiny society. As soon as the attack happens, we see a rooster heading straight into the fight. But he isn't the only one. Once it realizes what is happening, the goat we see nearby charges head-on into the battle. It vigorously rams the aggressor. As the battle continues, we even see a bunch of feathers spread around the farm. To successfully separate the victim from its hunter, the goat manages to smash the hawk against the fence. Realizing the fight is lost, he backs up from this hunt and learns a lesson about how tight the bonds between the animals he attacked are. Number 6. A clown appears out of nowhere. If you are scared of clowns and certainly not a fan of the movie IT, you might want to skip this next example. As we have seen, there are many ways that trail cameras have been used. Another task that trail cameras are relied on for is assisting hunters. Thanks to the trail cameras, hunters can recognize what sort of animals and possible prey are wandering around the potential hunting area. This hunter left one of these cameras to scout the area and was quite surprised with what he found in the footage. Instead of catching a bunch of wild animals, a masked person appears out of nowhere with a maniacal expression and eyes that spell danger. This mysterious clown appeared from the night and walked up straight to the camera, staring directly into it as if to send an "I see your" message. As he was getting close, we even noticed he was carrying a lamp. After repeatedly getting close to the camera and then backing away, the frightening person finally leaves the scene. If I were the hunter who placed this camera, I would most certainly switch up my hunting grounds. Number 7. Bald eagle fights a coyote. Humans have definitely grown as hunters over time and become quite versed in such activities. On the other hand, we can't really compare what nowadays is more of a sport with the hunger that pushes wild animals to hunt. As survival of the species that rely on hunting in the wilderness is quite a demanding and time-consuming activity, we can easily imagine that losing prey that one has already caught may be the difference between life and death. This is why even prey that has already been brought down has to be secured and protected from other creatures that may want to snatch the spoils of the hunt. This trail camera, placed in the woods, captured an amazing battle over a deer that fell prey to one of these hunters. This gigantic bald eagle had to protect its prey from a coyote that had seen this as an opportunity to grab a quick meal. We can see that the fight is taking place on the ground, where a coyote would have his advantage. Considering how much larger he is than this bird of prey, the coyote has the upper hand. However, this doesn't necessarily have to be the case. As we see, the bald eagle is able to make up for this difference by relying on his huge wings and sharp talons. This fight over a fallen deer has taken quite some time, and even a crow has, for a brief moment, considered joining in and trying to scoop some food for itself. However, as the battle continues, a coyote seems to emerge as a victor. By the end of the video, we can see it dragging the deer away. Number 8. Alien walks in the street. Imagine checking out a tape of a camera that you place to capture everything that happens in the back alley of Peru. In 2008, those that have done so have found something quite weird recorded in this manner. Recorded early in the morning and still under the cover of the dark sky, a video has been made of a creature walking by a car. Due to its slender arms and legs, this creature moves around in a very creepy way, and we see that its head doesn't match the rest of its body. However, this could be only due to our expectations based on knowing how humans look, while the creature caught on camera doesn't necessarily have to be one. From the shape caught in this video, we could discern that the creature may have giant ears or huge eyes. This could be why its skull seems quite menacing to us. Even though this video has caused a lot of interest, we weren't able to reach a final conclusion about what this creature could have been. And even though many have tried, the authenticity of the video hasn't been firmly discarded. Number 9. A bird of prey carrying a fox. As we have by now seen, wild animals and birds of prey aren't uncommon stars of trail cam footage. We know that these birds, well prepared for hunting, don't fret even to attack smaller farms. But we may wonder how much of a heavy burden a single bird could carry. This huge predator has placed one of its dangerous-looking talons atop a fox that it seems to have already caught. Although the hunt is over, we see how determined this golden eagle is to keep the well-earned reward. In this mesmerizing video that took place atop a cliff, we can notice all the fur and feathers scattered across the ground surrounding this amazing scene. We can guess how ferocious this battle was. By the end of the video, as the bird flies away, showing its amazing ability to carry such a weighty load, we can assume who the victor is. Number 10. A strange creature walking through the woods. Although the previous footage may amaze us with the abilities that the golden eagle has shown us, this next one may amaze us for different reasons. As it starts out, we see a captivating scene that could be described as great-looking and showcasing the beauties that the world's nature has to offer us. Enjoying these sights, one could even feel relaxed, especially considering there's a lake and a certain jungle vibe to these frames. While we may have established a sense that this place is idyllic, once we take a closer look at what can be seen in the footage, we may feel less relaxed than the initial shots would suggest. It takes some concentration, but once you see it, you will understand why one's enjoyment and admiration of the surroundings may be cut short. Focusing on the movement that happened in the background, this camera managed to capture a strange creature walking by. What at first could seem just like a white rock, as we zoom in, we recognize that this appears to be a living thing. Its ghoulish appearance and almost white color made it blend into the surroundings. Besides its unnatural-looking movement, we see that it has weirdly shaped limbs and a bizarre posture. As it is moving in this unnerving way, we can see that it's heading towards a cave that could be where it resides. Number 11. Creature spotted lurking near the zoo. While the chills we may feel from the previous video are still ongoing, let us throw in another small twist to this story. Considering that the creature we previously saw was leaving and not moving towards us, or any vulnerable animal, we could find some sense of ease. However, in this next video, we will see what was captured near a Texas zoo and quite close to the animals at that. In the footage provided by the Amarillo Zoo, what can be recognized as a human-like figure has walked right next to the zoo's fence. While some speculate that it could be a person just wearing a costume and pulling a prank, we should ask ourselves, do we really know any person whose silhouette may seem this unnatural and menacing? While we recognize that this creature may have a human-like form, its legs resemble a wolf's rather than a man's. To add to this spooky image, once we zoom in on its head, we can also recognize that it isn't at all human-like. In this mystery, a question of what it could be was posted publicly alongside the footage. Although many suggested that this may be just another scam, no final solution came. Some popular theories suggest that it is a fox-like creature resembling a werewolf. Others who are fond of conspiracy theories have suggested that it may be just a way to draw attention toward the zoo and that the zoo owners themselves planned the whole thing. It seems we will be left with some mystery on this account. Number 12, a white-tailed deer shedding his antlers, returning to the untamed wilderness. It's widely acknowledged among seasoned hunters that deer undergo the fascinating process of shedding their antlers in order to facilitate the growth of new ones. However, despite this common knowledge, only a few can boast of personally witnessing this extraordinary event. Enter the domain of this trail camera footage, where a breathtaking spectacle unfolds. A majestic deer gracefully makes its entrance, initiating the intricate ritual of shedding its antlers. With deliberate precision, it begins by rhythmically shaking its entire body. Then, it vigorously shakes its head, its movements infused with much energy as it liberates itself from the old antlers. The sheer intensity of the moment is detectable, evoking a profound sense of awe and reverence for the mysteries of the natural world. Imagine what a horrifying sight this could be for someone who is unaware of this occurrence. Number 13, an unidentified creature swimming. As we have seen, trail cameras can help us capture quite unexpected things on film. But then again, the unexpected might be exactly what the purpose of placing a camera in the first place was. In this next video, a farmer living near the place where the incident was captured was being bothered at night by noises of water splashing around. Since he lived near a small bridge, he realized that this was the most likely place such sound came from. As a man bound to find out what's behind these noises and disturbances, he has put up a trail camera aiming it at the bridge. Once he had a chance to review the footage that it caught, he was pretty shocked, as we would be. If we approach what we can see this trail camera has caught with a rational mindset, we could assume that these could be some jokesters pulling a prank on the farmer. Even if we take on this perspective, we could realize that it would require quite some courage for them to actually do so. For starters, they would have to be courageous enough to go and play around in this pitch-dark water below the bridge. On the other hand, if we focus more on what we see rather than what we think it could be, it would seem as if two very creepy, mysterious figures have a weird sort of enjoyment in the night. One of the creatures we see jumps in and plays in the water, maybe hunting or just having fun, while the other one that seems to be hanging from something appears to even have female-like hair. As time passes by, even this one jumps in the water. Getting back to the farmer's intention of finding out what could be disturbing him, we are unsure whether this has solved his problem or made it even scarier. Number 14, a mysterious shadow. The previous video has shown us quite mysterious entities whose origins we are unaware of. In this next case, the beings that will take the central stage seem to have come from the sky. This video was made by a trail camera that was turned towards a quiet area that wasn't covered by good light to provide us clear insights into what exactly happened here. However, other elements help us realize the seriousness of the situation. Concretely, there happened to be 3 dogs present at the scene, and this unbelievable thing happened. What can barely be seen in the video is that what's presumed to be 2 entities have flown to the earth from the sky. They even emit some sort of light that further makes their recognition impossible. What we notice is that they can move quite quickly, and they're not just a glitch of this trail camera, but certainly have a manifest form. We know this because all 3 dogs had the same aggressive and frightened reaction as soon as these creatures landed. As the creatures are moving across the scene, the dogs give them a chase, but give up as these figures have reached the fence. Another scary detail is that these entities didn't seem to have any feet by which they were moving, but instead appeared as if they were floating mid-air. A disturbing reflection is that as soon as these figures came across a light, they turned dark, rendering them almost invisible to the camera. To frame it as a frightening question, does this mean that even if we were to have a lamp, we wouldn't be able to see what it is that we have encountered here? It is safe to say that we have been on quite an interesting adventure through all the videos that we have seen. The idea of setting up a trail camera has grown over time, and the application of this technology keeps enabling us to do more things. Then again, we did notice that trail cameras seem to have caught a lot of unexplainable moments and occurrences that we wouldn't want to be a part of. Nevertheless, we could say that trail cameras are rather but messengers, and as such, they may be quite useful. We have seen them used as means to capture interesting stunts that we want to attempt, to scout the hunting grounds, or even to keep us, our property, or our farms safe.